hopping into this, how do you talk about data governance? Now, I mean, I don't want to be controversial or have like a a hot take on this, but I've always find that data governance as a term can be problematic in an organization. So if you say, hey, we're doing a data governance initiative, there is going to be a non-zero population within your organization who is going to think that what you're talking about is stopping them from doing something that they think is important to do. That governance is about control and restricting things. And while that is a part of it, is trying to get appropriate and policy accurate use of your data, it's not necessarily what that's about. So I like to think about, if you think about all these different terms that you might have, just be clear what you're talking about. I enjoy the term data intelligence as a better term, like having the information around your data, and data governance is a part of it, which I'll have a slide for this in a minute, but it's the human curation activity around your data, and the data catalog part is where you get all that content. But it doesn't, if you've got a lot of different language, if you talk about data management or data intelligence or information policies, or all sorts of terms like this, that's fine, as long as you're clear about what that means and people have a good understanding of it. But be aware that just throwing out the term data governance oftentimes gets people confused. Like, what do you mean by that? Right. So as I was saying, I like the term data intelligence. I really think that there's sort of three parts of this that you can focus on. The data governance framework, which is the human curation activities. And this is where you really kind of need to get the buy-in, as well as the actual content, data catalog content, which is all the information around your data that you're storing. And then data policy management. And I've recently kind of pulled this out. I used to always talk about two things, but oftentimes I find it helpful to focus in on this as a slightly different thing, particularly when we're talking about buy-in here, because the types of stakeholders and the types of needs and the type of buy-in and barriers and activities you need for policy type catalog content versus your sort of technical or functional catalog content can be very different. So I think if we focus this as a sort of a separate type of catalog content with the policies and the tracking of the policies, it can be helpful. So this is sort of a start of how as you think about building buy-in, is to again make sure you're kind of structuring this in a way that's easy for people to understand, and clarifies like where their interests may lie or where their expectations may lie as well.